Welcome back, YouTube. I wanted to provide an update, just to kind of let you guys know how important these next candles are. I made a post on Twitter yesterday saying that if we can get past that 846 range for Doge, we're looking at a possible run to around the 9 cent range. And I'm looking here because we did get a candle closure slightly above that, and then we had a retracement here. We'll check shorts in a moment, but we had a slight retracement here. But I want to let you know how well this trend is going as far as for the level that it would take for us to actually break trend or to um, really just have like a reversal. And right now we're nowhere near those projections, and we're actually still on track to have that cross between the 72 and the 200 day. This is where you can get a really big run up here and possibly even overshoot to around 10 cents. It's this 72 day, which is this orange line, and the red line, the 200. You can possibly get a golden cross there, and that golden cross is going to be a lot stronger than the 14-day crossing the 72 and the 14-day crossing the 200. The 72-day is going to be is a much stronger indicator of trend, and this is this is kind of like when you see it coming towards it. I know somewhat it's like a little bit of a lagging indicator, but it's giving you an idea that you can. This pretty much aligns with the projections I've been giving, saying that we can possibly have this gap up. It's giving you an idea of the trend here. But as far as for the space and us actually breaking trend, we'd have to break trend at around like 723. So there's a lot of room there to grab liquidity, but ultimately where this candle closes is kind of going to give you the zone as far as for where we're going to need to break above, or at least re-challenge this 946 level. And this zone here is typically where you'll have these gaps. So this is kind of what we're doing right here. Once we broke into that zone, we start seeing bigger candles. And if you take a look back here, what is this, April, you'll see something very similar. The candles and the wicks and stuff like that, you were starting to get a lot more explosive movement. And of course, even if you go like a step further back, you'll see the candles were a lot bigger here too. So you're going to have, when you get into this zone, you can expect more volatility, and you'll start seeing much bigger swings in the daily candles. That's what these are. So you'll see there'll be a bigger range of movement. So this is, we're literally right on par with what we are expecting in this zone. And where we close at next is going to be very important to kind of get like an idea of where the trend is headed. But ultimately, we're nowhere near breaking this trend as of right now. I'm going to do a video on Tesla as well, because Tesla is having a great time. I know I'm not going to try and correlate the two, but I know typically Elon's a big catalyst for Doge, but ultimately the crypto is pretty much stabilized. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin in a moment, but crypto is kind of stabilizing at some higher highs right now. So we'll see where Doge is actually going to get its footing. Is it going to be higher up here around like the 8.7 mark, or is it going to be a little lower down here or closer around like the 8 mark or so? But ultimately, we have some room here to kind of grab liquidity, and we're still on that upward trajectory. So let's take a look here at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is chugging along here with this 14-day moving average, so literally just gaining support here and kind of sitting there. The candles are getting a lot smaller, especially on the day yesterday. The movement was a lot smaller here, but this is what we talked about in the previous video. It's kind of establishing like those higher highs and where those levels are going to be before we start seeing some sideways movement and before ascending to that next level. So Bitcoin getting a footing here is not a bad thing at all. Even if we have like that range, typically, let's see what we see. We went down as low as 35. Candle closed at 35.5. High of around 37. So yeah, like 1500 plate a range. So we can monitor this over like the next few days or so. But as far as we're resting along that 14-day and kind of having that flattening, that is certainly not a bad thing. We've already had the 72 cross the 200 here. And this is an example of like that. And this is in Bitcoin, obviously, but this is an example of how strong that movement can be and how big of an indicator that can be for the price movement coming up. So this is what happened with Bitcoin when you had the 72. This is pretty much when you had the 72 cross the 200. You can see, here's what happened with the 72 cross the 200. And you can see that we were able to break through that 35 resistance level. For Doge, obviously, it could be a bigger move as far as percentage wise, but this 35 was pretty much giving Bitcoin trouble until we were able to kind of grab that liquidity there to send to the next level. So it's not as violent as the 14 crossing the 2, but it was enough to get it through that resistance level. For Doge, that resistance level, since we're already above it, it's going to be like around that 9. So we could possibly retest that mid 9 range, or maybe even have some overshoot to around 10 cent. Let's take a look here at shorts really quickly. A slight spike in shorts, nothing significant. Everything's still on the downward trajectory. 14 days trending down, 72, 200. Everything's trending down, so nothing significant as far as for shorts. So as of right now, we're just gonna have to kind of see how this plays out. Obviously shorts can spike at any moment, but as of right now, nothing big is coming in to kind of detour price. I do expect if we start trending closer to like this mid 9 range and certainly at around 10 cent, I do expect a bigger spike in shorts. But as of right now, nothing significant with these with the short range here. So we're just gonna have to see where this candle closes and keep an eye on this 72 and the 200 to kind of give us a trajectory. With that being said, don't forget you can check out Moomoo. You get 15 free stocks, up to 15 free stocks when you open a new account. And also, if you are holding cash looking to get into the stock market to invest in companies like Tesla, for example, they'll pay you 5.1% interest, FDIC insured on your money until you are ready to make those investments. And I have a link in the description section. With that being said, I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And I will see you guys in the next video.